forces with others. That's the question. This all-out transformation will be collective or it will not be. If we do it together, it will be effective. Therefore, one question: which are the role and challenges of the supply chain associations? I call Yann de Feraudy, Konstantinos Agnotis, and Xavier Ruiz. Please. Welcome. Who are you? Konstantinos. Please. Oh, il n'y a pas d'ordre. Oh, non, c'est bon. Mettez-vous là. Xavier. Yann de Feraudy, you know him. He organized the edition, 2023 edition, as the president of France Supply Chain. Just on his left, from Spain, Xavier Ruiz, General Director of ICIL Institute, and from Greece, Konstantinos Agnotis, Managing Director at Telenavis, President of ILME, the Greek association, and you are VP of ELA. So, question, what are your priorities today? What do you think about environmental, HR, digital transformation, or everything together? For example, Konstantinos.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
can you hear me? Okay, great.
It's okay.
Great. Do you remember the picture with the young guy that was going to help the rabbit to go up? That's what we're doing. We try to develop links, to develop knowledge, to give the main tools that the logisticians of the future are going to use to certify them and make our societies better through more efficient, more sustainable logistics. To my opinion, ILME, associations in general, are very critical at this era. Why? Because we need more than ever collaboration. We need more than ever education for professionals, not only for young people, but for professionals. And we need to exchange ideas and know-hows between Greece, Spain, France, Germany, wherever in the world. So that's what we're trying to do in ILME, in the Greek Association.
Yann, is this a critical period where companies, where associations do lead all these transformations together? We can't begin, for example, by digital, and after HR, and after environmental. We need to do that together, in the same time. It's difficult.
I think, yes, it is very difficult, and I think it's also a trend. The more I read about, management articles, management books, etc., it's a real trend all over the world that transformation, transformation, transformation. So we are in a kind of, the kind of guinea pig type of thing where we tend to roll on the same,
like a squirrel,
and
the wheel,
because it's called transformation. Transformation is urgent.
With no end, no end.
Yeah, and personally, it's for me it's a bit of vaporware when we say it's transformation and we have to lead with purpose, blah blah. I'm a real fan Simon Sinek, and I hope that many of you have heard of him and seen the videos. I think that we need all to understand why we are doing things. Okay, so and transformation is probably a tool. What we need to do is to understand and proclaim first why we do things. And so instead of saying what we do and how we do it. So if I'm a third-party logistics, or if I'm in logistics, in supply chain, you know, I move boxes and I do it very efficiently.
Xavier.
Do you want to work with me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Instead, I serve customers in the best way possible to be good for planet and people, and I use technology to do this. Do you want to work with me? So it's a bit different. And do you want to transform for better efficiency? I want to transform for a better world. I want to transform for a better company.
For a better world, for a better company, and maybe, Xavier, we are asked to do in 10 years what we did in 30 years. It's not very easy. So maybe we have to share experiences. It's necessary to work together. Don't you think it? I think it rules, no?
Hello?
Yes, it's good.
Of course, yes. In few months, in few years, we have more transformations than in the last 30 years. So it's important for the organizations and for the people to understand that in our professional path, we must be always in transformation. It's not a good idea to have now I transform, after this I will stay 5 years in the same stage, and after this I will transform again. No, every day I have to do the transformation. And from my point of view, the transformation is in a digital technology, but in the people transformation, it's important too. Not only the transformation in technology.
Why is the notion of community is very important, Xavier? What are the topics of collaboration, for example? How do you work, for example, with others?
I think that the collaboration, it demands that I will share my knowledge because somebody will share with me his knowledge. If I am selfish and I am not, I don't want to share my knowledge, I will be alone in the world. There is a statement that says, if I want to be fast, I must to be alone. If I want to arrive far, I have to be together with another people. So in our society, we need to share, we need to understand that my organization cannot have all the knowledge in the world. So I have to share.
Konstantinos, I said a couple of minutes ago, this all-out transformation will be collective or it will not be. Is that true for you, according to you?
First, I would prefer growth instead of transformation. Transformation has positive and negative things. Growth, to grow the experience and to grow oneself, it's much better, to my opinion. Second, yes, we have to grow together because we are dependent. And in logistics, we know very well what we mean dependent. We are a chain, exactly. So you cannot optimize a warehouse itself alone without optimizing also routing and tracking. We had very, very beautiful paradigms today from the 6 companies that actually what they do is a more global view of growth, of transformation, of digitization, of whatever you want to call it.
So now tell us what are your best practice, how to share experiences, which is the best place to communicate. How do you do in your own country, Greece, Spain, France, for example? Jan, tell us. Yes, your best practice to communicate with your members in your association, France Supply Chain.
France Supply Chain is there to share best practice. So this is the way I think that the famous to be manifesto is clearly a formalization of what we want to exchange. But we also have labs. We have labs to share and exchange on technology, on robotization and things like that, on human resources. And also, of course, supply chain for good for any of the topics related to sustainable supply chain. But what we want to do now is use this manifesto, which is very clear in the objectives, which is, the first objective is to, save on energy and transport and produce the right level of goods, okay, which is very first, and then we go on other topics, circular economy, social aspects and impacts, etc. But this will be the structure of all of our actions. And all the actions, be they technology, be they resource-driven, human resource-driven, will be structured around this manifesto, because this is the way we want to exchange. We want to exchange in the light and in the direction of our purpose, the why we do this association.
Xavier, which is the best place to share? For example, how do you use with social medias in Spain about your association?
I think that from COVID to now, all the society has been a transformation, a deep transformation, and the associations must understand that the ways to share before the COVID are different than the ways that they share the knowledge nowadays. So this is a transformation in the role of the associations. The associations in 20th century, 20 or 30 years ago, had a different, maybe the purpose is the same, but the ways to achieve this purpose has changed a lot last years. So like the other industries, associations and logistics associations must understand all these changes to give value proposals to his members, because if not, they will die. So the associations must understand how to share and how to connect the professional in a digital world.
And you, in Greece, Konstantinos, what are you doing in your country? You've just listened to Jan talking about studies, about knowledge, social medias, and you?
I like very much the manifesto story, and I will going to copy that.
You want to copy his manifesto?
It's open.
It's a good.
Do you have
it's
the
open source,
copyright or not?
Fine, great. We have our basic, let's say, principles that we have communicated them. We have created a series of webinars for technology and for specific things like, let's say, legislation in the cities, when you can deliver and what time frames and so on and so on. We have our physical also events like this one, but the Greek style. Thank you. And most importantly, we cooperate with all other ELA members, like Igor from Slovenia, like Javier from Spain, like Marcus from Germany, like Didier from France. And we create more content for the European level, and not only for the European level, even for the Latin American level, with the help of our Spanish friends.
And is it efficient? Is it useful?
We use technology, we have to use technology in order to have broader audience. And yes, it is a very efficient way.
No border audience, and when you were with Professor Mao 2 hours ago, Jan, you told about CS3D, CSRD. How do you work with EU authorities? And I suppose there are 27 countries. The 27 associations will be stronger to talk, to have talk, discussion with EU.
That was, I think, in the very birth of ELA, was also that there was certification, there was exchange between the different associations, but there was also a view on discussing with the European Union as well some topics. I think that indeed we may be a bit stronger doing this, and also gathering with the different association on, you know, what we can say, we know over here in France, for example, and I don't know much about what's happening in Spain or Greece and other countries. We know that the knowledge of our skills, our different businesses is very low within the population. You know, I'm really used to saying that my father-in-law, when I was a young supply chain manager, would definitely say, "I don't understand what you're doing, okay, but I understand that you're doing it well." So that was fine, but I think that today we keep on saying, we are very important after COVID, you know, everybody is important after COVID, right? Because everybody has understood, you know, that we were a chain, you know, whether a nurse or a transporter or supply chain guy or a beer manufacturer, and you know, everybody is important, okay? But a special light has been shed on supply chain as being vital to deliver vaccines, to deliver medications, etc. It's also been in the light also after COVID, when we had you know, huge problems in international transportation from China, etc. Because all of a sudden, board members would say, "What's happening? We don't have the goods. We can't manufacture. Price of transportation has been multiplied by 10. What are these guys called supply chain manager that are hitting my P&L?" So all of a sudden, there is this light. It is important. It is vital for my turnover. It is vital for my bottom line. It is vital for my customers. So, but it doesn't mean that people understand what we do, and especially authorities. So we still have to, you know, be patient and, you know, also explain what we do and how it could be important to bring back industry in our country, in our different countries, and to make it in a sustainable way. And we still have to, you know, to spend a lot of energy to explain what we do and the value of what we do.
That's the reason, Xavier, it's necessary to be together, to be strong, to explain and explain and explain, for example, to EU authorities.
Yeah, because for example, if we speak about e-commerce, e-commerce is e-commerce, but if we speak about e-commerce in Paris, in Barcelona, in Lima, in Mexico City, are different situations. So to understand and to know how the same issue you must afford in different environments, it's very important to share the experiences, to share how I afford this issue in my country, in my town. For example, here in Europe, we think e-commerce is very easy, everybody has internet connection, but in Peru, if you go out of Lima, you don't have internet connection. So if you are a supply chain professional, you should know, or you must know, that in the environment that we have in Europe, in the supply chains, in other countries in the world are different. Because nowadays, the chains are international, so I have to understand the situation in all the countries, not in my country. So sharing knowledge is very important for this.
Which are your last advice to everybody, for example, Konstantinos, about good practice?
Come to ELA all together, and we are going to make it better. Let's join forces, let's join knowledge, and most of all, let's join ourselves. Because by the end of the day, we are humans. And by the end of the day, only in the human level that we connect to each other, we can make things. I mean, every story that I know, it begins with, at least till now, I don't know if in 5 years will change everything, but every story I know, it begins with at least 2 persons, and then it multiplies. So let's do it together.
Yes, and read the French manifesto. Where can we find your manifesto, Jan? Because Konstantinos wants to copy it.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I'm sure it will be available on the site, but I'm not sure it's loaded on the site yet. What we are going to do is, first of all, also heavily communicate on the existence, on the different chapters. We have a wonderful plan, a media plan that has been designed by Eloy, so I think you will hear and you will know where to find it one way or another. We'll make sure it reaches you.
Yeah, for sure. I have my colleagues here that they have worked on the basic principles of ILME. And I'm sure that we can make it a little bit more Greek.
Yes.
And use it.
Maybe we'll do a translation in each language of Europe, in Slovenian, in Greek, in Spanish, in German. Okay, thank you, Konstantinos Agnotis, Xavier Ruiz, and Jan de Ferrodi. Thank you very much.